Today on What's Next.
This journey all started with a near-death experience, so thus the idea of a van and going to paint in all 50 states.
This is where I think. This is creativity. I feel at home. I feel part of the universe.
Hello and welcome inside Growing Boulder's What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. You know, we call this show What's Next because looking forward to what's next is a major key to happy and healthy aging. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80, our goal is to inspire you to make the most of every day, to do the things that you love with the people you love, and to not be afraid to try new things with new people. You know, as we grow older, life becomes less about things and more about experience. And the more that we value experience, the more interested we become in travel. If you have a travel bucket list, you are not alone. Travel is now the #1 leisure activity for adults 50 and older. And in a survey about major regrets, the majority of older adults said they would travel extensively if they had 30 extra years. Well, the good news is that most of us do have an extra 30 years, an entirely new life stage beyond what's considered normal retirement age. So why not enjoy the many benefits of travel, including the kind of education you just can't get in a book or in a classroom? Travel can pretty much be anything from a weekend road trip to a cruise around the world. It can be a trip with family or friends, or a solo adventure as it was for Christiane Palpent. But as our Amy Sweezy discovered, Christiane wasn't really alone thanks to her beloved van, Millicent.
Have you ever dreamed of quitting your job and driving around the country?
This is Christiane Palpent with Millicent, the van. This is my maiden voyage, driving her from Cincinnati, Ohio to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
How would you turn your dream into reality?
We started working on her 9 months ago, turning her from a cargo van to an art studio on wheels, and we are just about finished.
And where would you go?
It looks like I'm at the ocean, but I'm actually not. The Great Lakes of Michigan are incredible.
54-year-old Christiane Palpent made her dream a reality when she modified a Sprinter van she named Millicent and set out to paint in all 50 states. But she soon discovered that her plan would be much harder than she thought.
It was almost 47,000 miles, 33 weeks of driving back to back to back to back, 3 years and 10 days.
It sounds like an incredible journey, but the original plan was actually born from necessity after a major health scare.
This journey all started with a near-death experience at a client dinner. I was in a Fortune 200 power job, suits, planes, trains, and automobiles, near-death experience. 2 years of bed rest and a divine epiphany that I needed to change my life. So thus the idea of a van and going to paint in all 50 states.
Painting had become a catharsis for Christiane after that unexpected open-heart surgery in her 40s.
Painting was definitely on purpose because the doctors told me you cannot get your heart above 60 beats a minute. So I thought, I can't prepare for a ski marathon, I can't climb Mount Kilimanjaro, I can't do all these things that were a part of me. They're how I defined myself. What can I do?
Christiane carried that newfound love for painting on the road with her.
I made painting a priority because I felt like that was part of my journey and part of the practice of my own healing and part of honoring those beautiful horizons that I was seeing. In New Mexico, I got out of the van and the sky was just streaking, just these orange, beautiful streaks. And I felt like I was just in this wrinkle in time. I was almost teary with the experience. It really, really struck me. Sometimes we can get really myopic in our own life and think about, I've got a hangnail, or little things that bug us. Oh, it's too hot in Orlando. And I think that's what maybe kept me going on the journey too, is realizing, okay, it's hard right now, but the sun shall also rise. And that's the beauty of that, is yes, it will rise.
Christiane's journey wasn't all sunrises and happiness. She found herself dealing with hardship after hardship and considered giving up more than once.
Everything that could go wrong has, and I have been brought to my knees on so many occasions, not only with van trouble, personal health stuff, family stuff. But I had to take a deep breath and think, okay, if I just take the next step, can I do that? Yes, I can. So I'd take the next step. Then I'd get a little more courage and I'd take the next step.
Her persistence paid off. As Christiane completed her journey across all 50 states, she discovered immense beauty in America's diversity.
From Maine to Florida to Washington to Southern California, Hawaii, Alaska, you will see it all, from the highest of the peaks to the lowest of the valleys to the desert, the pure light brown sands of the desert to raging rivers. It is stunning, really stunning. So I highly recommend, see what you can.
How would you sum up what Millicent meant to you?
She was a teacher. A teacher and a healer.
What a trip. After her journey to all 50 states, Christiane did sell her van to another family to enjoy. She's now looking forward to the next adventure that life might throw her way. A cross-country road trip in a van is not the dream trip for everyone, but it does illustrate a few important takeaways that we can all apply to our daily lives. Number one, there is beauty all around us, but don't be afraid to take the road less traveled. Get comfortable with discovering the unknown, as Christiane did on her adventure. Number two, no trip is ever perfect, and that's really where the most important lessons lie, in the imperfection, the hurdles, and the challenges. Christiane's van broke down more than once, and she nearly did as well. But she embraced the struggle and grew stronger and more confident from the challenges. And number three, travel provides great educational and creative opportunities which are good for our overall health, especially our brain health. Christiane likes to paint. For you, it might be photography, poetry, music, learning a new language, interacting with the locals, reading about historical sites. The new and novel experiences are just about limitless. So take her advice and plan your next adventure. And remember, it's more about the journey than the destination.
I'm getting better as I get older. I can do more, I can produce more, I have a greater amount of energy and discipline.
Welcome back inside What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. You know, there is inspiration all around us every single day, if only we'll take a moment to stop and look for it. At Growing Bolder, we've made it our mission to shine the light on inspirational people in the hopes that their example might help others to find their own passions and discover their own way to love their life, no matter their age or challenges. Some of the most powerful inspiration of all comes from those we call our rock stars of aging. Men and women in their 80s, 90s, and even 100s who give us the roadmap to happy and healthy aging through their daily lifestyle choices. I recently traveled to Jacksonville Beach, Florida, to spend the day with 84-year-old rock star of aging, Jerry Domask. It's Sunday morning and a new day is dawning in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. The surf is up and early risers have come to catch a wave or a fish. 84-year-old Jerry Domask has come to take a swim.
I am going into the ocean, and there's never a bad day in the ocean. Some are better than others.
Jerry is easily the oldest member of the Duval Ocean Swimmers, a large group that swims a mile or two every day. rain, shine, and on days like today in near tropical storm conditions.
It's fabulous. I love it. This is year round I do it. You know, I don't care. And it's always different. And the ones that are the toughest are the ones you always remember, like anything in life.
Jerry's just a guy that basically inspires everybody. Everybody, 22-year-olds look at him and go, wow, he's still at it. That's incredible.
I didn't really start swimming until I was 66. And I started swimming between two buoys, 25 yards apart. I'd hang on and hold on for dear life. And then eventually I built up, this is where I think. This is creativity. I feel at home. I feel part of the universe.
I work in healthcare and I work a lot with seniors, and having people like Jerry who demonstrate that you can go out and be active and do the things you love and be around people of all ages, it really does inspire seniors.
I'm getting better as I get older. I can do more. I can produce more. I have greater amount of energy and discipline.
Because the surf is so rough and the tide so strong, the group walks 1.5 miles up the beach in order to swim with the current back to the pier. As they wade into the surf to begin their swim, Jerry pauses to celebrate the moment.
Go get him, Jerry!
And with that, 84-year-old Jerry Domask, who didn't learn to swim until his late 60s, dives under the crashing waves to begin 1.5 mile open water swim in near tropical storm conditions. They swim out beyond the breaking waves and, pushed by a strong current, head back to the pier. 20 minutes later, one by one, they begin walking onto the beach. Smiling from ear to ear, Jerry emerges from the surf and celebrates another invigorating swim. Swimming is only one of Jerry's passions. He's a world-ranked triathlete, a fine artist whose paintings and sculptures are widely collected, a proud Vietnam veteran, and a widower who lost his wife of 60 years not long ago and still celebrates their love on a daily basis.
She was my earth angel. Yesterday morning I woke up and I said, I'm going to stay here for a half hour more with Mary. You know, it's a precious memory. We're still together. I mean, there's no question about it, you know. I mean, we're together. It's I'm blessed from the get-go.
Mary is buried at the National Cemetery in Jacksonville, where Jerry was commissioned to create a Vietnam memorial welcoming veterans home. He's contributed to multiple veterans exhibits, including creating a provocative series of paintings for an exhibit called Reflections, Vietnam War, 45 years later, in which he dealt with his own post-traumatic stress disorder. Jerry not only speaks for veterans through his art, he counsels them in person.
I call them my foxhole buddies. If you haven't been in a hostile environment, people that haven't been there will never understand, and everybody comes back changed.
In his mid-80s, despite enduring the trauma of war, losing friends and his beloved wife, despite some serious health challenges, Jerry Domask continues to live a life he loves. He's determined to make a difference in the lives of others and believes he's stronger, wiser, and more creative than ever.
Definitely. I can do anything. Nothing is afraid. I do not want to be repetitive. I want to go where I have not gone before. That's my freedom. Oh, I can do anything. All I have to do is appease myself, please myself. Oh yeah, I'm more creative. I'm fearless, and I don't want to be controlled.
Jerry Domask is a man of many talents and one whose life is guided by 3 principles.
It's faith, family, and giving back. Absolutely no question about it. If you got that, there's nothing left.
Jerry's smile, his energy, his passion for life are all contagious. You know, after losing the love of his life recently, he didn't withdraw as many widowers and widows do. He actually doubled down on social connection. He leaned into intergenerational opportunities like his weekly swims with the Duval Ocean Swimmers. And like Christian Palpant, Jerry is invigorated by being outdoors. And while Christian paints to share the beauty of nature, Jerry actually paints to share the horrors of war and to honor his fellow veterans. Both motivations are powerful, and both provide the kind of purpose that keeps them engaged and looking forward to each new day. All right, time now for our bold social clip of the week, and we go from one swimmer to another. Growing Boulder is proud to partner with Humana in a stereotype-smashing campaign that we call the New 65 Plus. We're celebrating adults 65 and older, like Jerry Domask, who are finding their own way to love their life no matter their age or challenges. Here's three-time Olympic gold medalist swimmer Rowdy Gaines, who just turned Social Security age, sharing the passions that get him excited about life.
Hey, it's Rowdy Gaines. I just turned 65 this year. Wow! And I think it's really cool that Growing Boulder and Humana are spreading the word that 65 isn't what it used to be. I couldn't be more excited for the years ahead. In fact, I'm constantly inspired by older men and women who are living with passion and purpose. What are my passions? Yeah, swimming. My family, my friends, spreading the word that learning to swim saves lives. What are your passions? What are you excited about for your future?
Actuaries are now calculating what they call longevity risk, the very real and the rising risk of outliving our money. And Growing Boulder is all about helping adults of all ages, not just with the knowledge, but also the ability to leverage the rapidly changing tools when it comes to managing our money, which is why we are grateful that Chetan Duransoy, the CEO of Raisin US, is taking a break from his busy schedule to chat with us today. And tell us about Raisin. Why is it unique and who is it for?
Raisin is a deposit marketplace. As a consumer, with one user login, you have access to a total of 75 banks and credit unions in our platform. And those banks and credit unions have a tendency to offer their offerings in their local geography, and we help them to provide their offerings in a nationwide. We are bringing all these banks' offerings to all the consumers nationwide, so that both the consumers and then the banks happy about saving with higher rates and getting the deposits from a nationwide scale.
Raisin is on the cutting edge of leveraging technology that makes it easy for all of us now to have a single account. We log on one time and now we have access to 75 different banks for savings accounts, for CDs. What if I want to change that? How difficult is it for me to move my money from one account to another? How long does that take? How liquid are my funds?
It takes one day and then no fees. We have what we call the cash account in our system. The money comes into the cash account and then you can invest your money to another bank or credit union or another product within the same bank or credit union.
A lot of people hear, wow, access to 75 different accounts online. I'm not very tech savvy, so I'm not even going to try it. How easy does Raisin make it for me to get that account and then to make decisions?
The best advice that I can give is just become a customer, put $100, see how it is to use it yourself. In my opinion, our website has been designed to be very utilitarian. It is extremely easy. We don't have the bells and whistles of many other platforms it might have. It's super simple, designed for 40 years and plus in mind in managing the website.
Open an account and get started today at raisin.com/growingboulder and earn $50 in bonus cash by using the code BOULDER when you make a qualifying deposit of at least $5,000. Terms and conditions apply. Welcome back to What's Next. Are you following Growing Boulder on our social channels? Well, each week we share motivational memes and inspiring articles, videos, reels, podcasts, and more across all platforms, including the Your Take question that we share with our over 1 million Facebook followers. Earlier in the show, you met Christiane Palpant, who connected with the diverse beauty of nature on her tour of all 50 states, and with Jerry Domask, who showed us his love of open water swimming. This time we ask, what is your favorite way to connect with nature? Well, like Jerry, I do love a good swim in clear blue water, and while I don't do any one thing on a regular basis, I do just about anything if given the opportunity. I'm especially attracted to active ways of enjoying nature. hiking, snow skiing, mountain climbing. I've also scuba dived, skydived, and bungee jumped out of a hot air balloon. And I'm not alone. You know, I can still hear my mother asking, if your friends jumped off of a bridge, would you jump too? Well, increasingly, the answer today is yes. Older adventure travelers and thrill seekers are turning up just about everywhere. Not long ago, we turned 65 and then we hit the rocking chair. Now we become part of the new 65 plus and we hit the slopes and the whitewater rapids. These days, there are very few limitations on what's next, no matter your age. Think about that. We'll see you next time.